a steamy Saturday afternoon in Wilmington, North Carolina, here at historic Legion Stadium. I'm Zachary Buttright. I welcome you to this regular season finale for Port City FC. They play the league leaders and the regular season champions in the NPSL conference for this region, or area you might say, Hickory FC. Port City FC, they sit third right now. They've played 8 matches out of their 10 for the season. They go on the road to Greenville United next Saturday afternoon. As of right now, they have 5 wins, 3 losses in league play, 15 points. And that, like I said, puts them in third, tied with Appalachian FC, though. Only down on goal differential, 4 plus for Port City FC, and +9 for Appalachian is the difference between those 2 spots as of right now. Appalachian FC plays tonight at 7 p.m. against Bristol Rhythm, who sit 5th with 10 points. So Port City FC keeping an eye on that game after this game is over with to see how that result will shake up the standings and see if Port City can get that top 2 spot, which would allow them to host a semifinal. Top 4 teams make the conference tournament. Port City FC would love to be the number 2 seed and host potentially Appalachian FC. Port City FC have locked up a playoff spot as the teams walk onto the field. Hickory FC, their opposition tonight for Port City FC. Well, they are 8-0. 8 games played, 8 wins. They've only given up 6 goals, less than a goal per game. 24 points for them, the most that they could have received through their 8 games, and they've locked up that home field advantage. But what a great night of soccer. Supposed to be a double header tonight for Port City FC men's and women's teams. The women's team got a forfeit win over Soda City. So Port City FC's women's team still without a loss on the season. For Port City FC's men's team, they lost midweek in Knoxville, Tennessee, 2-1 against 865 Alliance. Now for the starting lineups for both of the teams, we'll start with Hickory FC first. In goal, number 68, Daniel McCloskey. Number 31, Alvaro Sanchez. He's the striker. Number 15, Antonio Pineda. He's a center midfielder. Number 6, Juan Pablo Correa, another midfielder wearing number 6. Wearing number 17, Ronan O'Malley. He's in the center of the park as well. Playing right wing, number 18, Luciano Galizzi. Playing left wing, number 44, Maxine Webster. Playing left back, number 42, Martin Wanche. Playing center back, number 23, Charlie Naylor. Playing center back, number 5, Guille Munoz. And playing right back, Leo Souza. A couple changes for Hickory FC from their previous results. Now, for Port City FC, starting in goal, number 0, Elias Mumford. Starting up top, number 17, Aiden Payne. Number 7, Alex Walker's in the middle of the park. Starting alongside Payne is number 14, Asis Hamed. He scored late in that game against 865 Alliance to pull it back to a 1-goal deficit. Number 12, Daniel Garvila starts at left back. Number 8, Jack Steele. We've seen him score 3 goals in the last 4 games. Number 2, Jackson Minisi, the captain for Port City FC, once again anchors the middle of the field. Number 9, Keegan Pete with his first start of the season. Number 21, Keenan Lieber back in the center defense that he has started the past 3 games. And right back, number 5, Martin Rivera. And last but not least, the other center back partnered with Lieber, number 20, William Fatzinger. So those are your starting lineups. We'll take a step aside for the national anthem and return for the opening kickoff.
What So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So as the teams exchange fist bumps, we get amped and ready to go for a fantastic Saturday afternoon match. Great crowd here at historic Legion Stadium. Hickory FC fans traveled well. They have their banners up. Home crowds of 3,000 to 4,000. They're on the road, but in numbers. Port City FC in their light blue tops, while Hickory FC go with the red tops and the white pants and socks. The captains meeting in the center of the park. A lot of D1 and D2 experience for Hickory FC. They just had their starting goalkeeper go over to Germany and play in the 4th tier of the German system. Congratulations to him. The city, I think, or the team name was Assel. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but that's what I was informed at least. So good luck to him. And new keeper from LMU in tonight. I see we have some repeat viewers. Hickory FC fan excited for the match, anticipating the opening kickoff. We see you there. Tank Lemus, you didn't miss much yet, but the action's just about to get underway, and that's when you really want to tune in. It's going to be a great game. Thank you for all listening in. If you're listening right now, stay tuned for the whole game. So there you saw all the sponsors for Port City FC, proudly sponsoring the team and also helping the team along the way. Referees in all black today. I think they'll be the ones that'll be sweating the most. A tough outfit choice for the referees. And yes, we do see all the comments, Max Ferrari. That's the way I think that it's said. I'm not sure, but yes, we see you. And we love to hear your comments as opening kickoff here for the regular season finale here at Legion Stadium for Port City FC. And they're playing the league leaders and regular season champions, Hickory FC, who won the title last year. They'll look to repeat when the conference tournament rolls around in a couple of weeks. For right now, we'll get a stoppage as the ball is flat. That's something you don't see very often. A couple of kicks into the game, and the ball has been deflated. So we'll reset almost. this time with a pumped up ball. Max Ferrari asks, how much is Hickory going to win by? Well, that's the question. They've got a couple changes in their starting lineup tonight, but a very good team. And Port City FC, I think, will be trying to get through this game with a defensive shape that is going to be, or they're going to try to make it tough to get by Hickory FC with a lot of goal-scoring power, especially with Sanchez up front. So we'll see. It was going to be a good game for sure. Aiden Payne now off on the break already for Port City FC. As there's a foul for Port City FC, the dream start here for Port City FC would be to get a goal early on. Obviously only 6 goals given up for Hickory FC on the season. That would be the dream start, but Hickory FC are good at what they do defensively, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Gavin says it's the second match in a row with a flat ball. That is a weird coincidence, honestly. You don't see that very often. Here's the in-swinger, and Port City FC hit it off the bar right on the 6-yard box, and it's another shot attempt by Walker, still trying. Offsides, maybe Fatsinger, he's onside, clips it in, right towards the keeper, bouncing around it is. And it's a mad scramble, and Hickory FC get it cleared. What a quick start. Just a chance that I was mentioning about Port City FC, but here it is. Hickory on the press, and now Port City FC will look to get it back in the box. What a chance that was for Port City early on. Miklowski decided to stay on his line as the ball was on his 6-yard box there. Maybe a decision that he would regret, but obviously off the bar. Here, let's take another look at it. What a chance. Ball in from Steele. And off the head of a Port City FC player and off the bar. It looked like it might have been off the head of Garvila, the super sub sometimes for Port City FC, but this time he gets the start and almost put his name in the history of this game early on. Cliff Loonman would love to have Mr. Commentator at Hickory at a game. Well, I'm always available. I love doing soccer. I love doing sports. So thank you for that shout out. And we'll be here all night. Garvila takes a hard shot into his own tent. We'll get another look at that. That's something you don't see there. He just takes out the tent. Wow, the tent looks better for the wear. Garvila took the brunt of that one for sure. Elder Gutierrez, a fan of Hickory, Vamos Hickory, says, Gutierrez, here is Hickory on the break early on. Shot, Mumford, and it's a breakthrough early on for Hickory FC. 4 minutes it took them to find the opening goal. The question was proposed, and it was answered by Hickory. It only took 4 minutes to find the opening goal of the game. Just drives in past the defenders of Port City FC and finds the bottom right corner. And it is number 15, Antonio Pineda, the goal scorer. I'll get a confirmation on that, but that's what I've heard so far. So Hickory FC get on the board early and lead 1-0. There's your goal scorer on the screen now. Ball's back in play. For Port City FC, it is Pineda. So now Hickory FC with control in the game can now take a deep breath after a close chance for Port City FC. Now here is Sanchez on the run, but Lieber was there to play it back to his goaltender, goalkeeper, however you say it. It's all the same in my mind. Mumford is the goalkeeper for Port City FC, and he clears it out wide. Tank Lima says it's the quickest Hickory FC goal of the season, maybe, or in history, I'm not sure. But that's definitely a fast one for Hickory FC. And Gavin says Tony is insane. He's mentioning or referring to Antonio Pineda. And it looks like we have another flat ball. So second in the same game. So third for that one person who mentioned that there was a second. It was Gavin. Now the refs are checking all the balls, as they should. Apparently there's a contagious leak in all the balls, maybe. And it might be the heat as well. It is close to 90 degrees. It's a very dry heat, though. Not much humidity today. And that definitely can take some wear on the balls. So as the refs try to sort this out, we'll get an extended break compared to the first time, because they want to make sure all the balls are pumped up. So this is a interesting point in the game, a little bit of a reset now for Port City FC. They had a chance that went off the bottom side of the bar. It's 6 minutes 38 seconds in the game. There was a goal in 4 minutes. It was Hickory FC who got the scoring started. After that aforementioned chance, we'll take another look at the goal here. Pineda just drives in and takes it on his right foot, opens up his hips, and Mumford unable to get there. It's always tough for a keeper in that situation, but you see Pineda open up his hips for the shot far post, but just able to clinically put it in the bottom corner. Gavin comments Deflategate, NPSL edition. Deflategate, the NFL scandal between the Patriots and the Colts, AFC Championship a couple years ago. Well, that was more than a couple years ago now, but play is resumed here at Legion Stadium. There is Naylor trying to find Pineda. Went back by Port City, but not long, as now Hickory once again have a chance, but Lieber cuts it out over to Fatzinger, now Rivera. And Port City FC not a stranger to goals in games. They have scored goals in bunches at Port City FC. Their first 4 games ended with 5 goals in total, did Port City. 4-1 results and 3-2 respectively. Port City FC have also not been shut out all season, so an eye to keep an eye on that as this game goes on if you're a Port City fan. As for Hickory, that would be a big accomplishment to shut out Port City FC for the first time on the season. And the last 4 games for Port City FC have resulted in 3 goals each. So the first 5 goals, and the second 4, which is a total of 8. Obviously, that's what Port City FC have played. 3 goals. So we'll either see 3 or 5. That seems to be the pattern for Port City FC today. Hickory FC already off to a quick start. Expect goals here at Legion Stadium. Let's hope the referees have got that deflated ball scandal situated. Here is Port City FC on the counter now. In the box, Hamid overran it and was unable to get there. Now Hickory FC look to counter themselves. Port City FC struggling to get numbers back. Hickory FC with space out wide now. Into the box, off steal, right to a Hickory FC player, and it's goal number 2 for Pineda. Or that was, Leo Souza. Number 14, and he's ecstatic, is Souza. And that chance came from just inability to clear for Port City FC, and Hickory FC already up 2-0. And not the start Port City FC we're looking for 10 minutes into this game. They have a big mountain to climb now. Rezin Wu and Gavin excited about the goals. Tank Lemus as well. Gavin says Leo for Souza, the goal scorer of the second goal. We saw Pineda score in the 4th minute. And now we see Souza in the 10th. Now Port City FC have to regain their composure here. And Resinwu, if that's the right way to pronounce it, it says odd. Last home game they had a ball go low on air. Obviously, that's what we've been talking about. The 3rd flat ball for Hickory FC. Maybe a common occurrence for Hickory FC. Weird how that happens. But it looks like it's sorted now. Lenore Ryan, obviously different in the mountains of North Carolina. Obviously here, coastal town of Wilmington. So 2 completely different places. But same problem. Tank Lemus says another one like DJ Khaled said. If anybody's ever heard that song, they know what that reference is. So Hickory FC wasting no time. Rivera now wins it back for Port City FC, who've got as we said, a long road left in this game. Minisi playing right back today, the captain for Port City FC. He's wearing number 2. Normally wears number 6, does Minisi. If you've watched any other Port City FC games, he's wearing 2 today. And now here is a giveaway for Port City FC. Hickory offsides, though. And it's been a tight call there, as you saw. But offsides is the call by the near-side referee. Not near-sighted, but near-side referee. And it's a tough place to be for Port City FC. You can see the 2 goals have come on the counterattack almost for Hickory FC. Maybe a lack of ability to run or willingness to run for Port City FC. Here's a throw-in. Rivera let that one go out of bounds. Hamid unable to keep that in. Throw-in now for Hickory. Resin Wu says I'm pronouncing it correctly. Thank you for that. That is always nice to hear. Tank Lemus says it's looking like Auckland versus Bayern Munich. It already has got the look of that. Bayern Munich beating them 10-0. So we'll see. For Port City FC, hopefully not in their minds as well. But Auckland's with a great response against Boca Juniors from Argentina. What a big result that was. They tied that game 1-1 after a long weather delay in Nashville about a week ago. That game, not really important in terms of group standings. They were both eliminated, but Auckland able to get the draw in for a team that have a lot of players that have full-time jobs. That is an incredible result. Not to keep talking about the Club World Cup. And Random Aussie says that, and Hamid's in here, and he'll try to chip it over McClowski. But McClowski's big frame got in the way there. And Port City FC with another chance. And there's a foul on Fatzinger. So Random Aussie, as I was saying that they got a point. And that's what I was saying as I think that comment was coming in. So thinking on the same wavelength, me and Random Aussie, the commenter. Elder Gutierrez says Hickory's too good. It's Max Ferrari is asking to ban Elder. Not sure what Elder did, but we're sorry to hear about that. It's a foul now on Port City FC, and Hickory will have a free kick. Quarter hour into the game, and it's 2-0 still for Hickory FC. Goals in the 4th and 10th minute. So getting set up is Hickory FC. Random Aussie says Auckland City's worth 3,000 while Bayern's worth billions. That is the truth, and that's why that was such a good opportunity for them. This cross goes right to Mumford, high into the sky. And that's the beauty of the Club World Cup, and that's why I've enjoyed watching the games. It's been quite a nice experience to see, a World Cup just for the clubs. It's something that I've always thought that would be cool, and FIFA has done it now, and it's in the knockouts. Knockouts started today, actually. Bayern play tomorrow against Flamengo, talking about Bayern Munich. Here's Hickory now. They choose to go all the way back to Naylor, back to Miklowski. And Hickory FC's fan says, why ban Elder? I'm not sure what Elder Gutierrez did. If someone would let us know, that'd be important. Here's a through ball by Correa. And just had the right amount of spin from Correa to cause problems for Menisi, as he had to really work hard to get it back to Mumford there. Also, as we have everyone in the comments, we love to see your comments. If you have any predictions about what the final score is, I know we're already at 2-0, but if you think what the final score will be, that's a long curling range effort from Aiden Payne that just goes high. Let us know what you think the final score is. Let us know what your favorite team in the Club World Cup is, as we're talking about that. Here's that effort from Payne as well. Just that one is always going up and never coming down from Payne. Josh Bassnight says Chelsea and Benfica are going on in Charlotte. It is. It's 1-0 to Chelsea late in that game. Mumford has to come off his line and clear it. Chelsea do lead 1-0 late in the game. It's at a weather delay right now. That's what you say. Josh Bassnight. And you're right. I'm keeping up with it on the side as we are here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Here's that foul. Not much in it, but referee called it. Captain for Hickory FC is Wanche, the left back for Hickory. Tank Lima says favorite team is Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup. I'm a Bayern Munich fan too. My family from Germany and grandfather from that area, so that's my tie into the Munich area for Germany. So I am a Bayern fan. So as you, Tank Limas. And Resenwu says they poke fun. That's the Elder Gutierrez comment. So now we have a clarification there, and the fun can keep continuing as play is restarted here, closing in on 19 completed minutes. Hickory FC just taking the sting out of the game. Port City FC did have that chance with Hamid, but Miklowski got off his line and made himself big. Random Aussie says that he's just watching it for football and the beauty of the game, which is why that I watch some of the competitions, and the Gold Cup also quarterfinals tonight. So it's a great summer of soccer, as it's a foul by Hamid. Fans here not happy with that, but correct call, it looks like, from the referee there. As Aiden Payne was ready for a counterattack, Fatzinger steps up there. The foul was on Correa, last time. Here's Payne driving in. He's got help in the box now, but he's going to have a hard time getting across with a defender right in his face. Now there's Payne. He has space this time, gets across in, but it does not have a chance as it goes directly out of play. Naylor was on him tight there. Hickory FC fan says he's a Bayern Munich fan as well. Love to see that. Kenny's Toon TV says he's rooting for Real Madrid because Arsenal's not there. Yeah. a 2-team cap for each country. One of the interesting rules for the Club World Cup. Obviously, you don't want a whole league there, so I understand. Here's Hamid on the turn, but Wanche shielded for Miklowski there. Ken's Toon TV also says, why do we have to wait 45 minutes to watch 5 minutes of the match? That's an interesting question. Referring, to the match in Charlotte, Chelsea and Benfica, 1-0 to Chelsea. And a mention about a closed roof here. Here's Hickory FC in on goal, blocked away just barely by Lieber. Mumford left with cement shoes there. But a critical block by Lieber. And a great ball, and that's just the pure class of Hickory FC right there. Lieber with a challenge that had to be made. And Mexico and Saudi playing at 10:15 tonight. That's the big game tonight for Gold Cup. Earlier semifinals, here's the cross from Hickory, foul by Hickory FC there, so it'll be a almost pseudo goal kick for Elias Mumford. So it will be in the first quarterfinal. It's Panama versus Honduras. That's 7:15 in the Gold Cup. A lot of soccer tonight. And there was talks about closed roof stadiums. There's a couple of those. Atlanta's got one. That's the closest I can think of that's going to be hosting the World Cup next summer. Charlotte doesn't, though. The Carolina Panthers playing there. Lee Lohman says, what's the turnout as that pass goes out of bounds, and cheap giveaway there for Port City FC. So answering Lee Lohman's question, it's a great crowd, the biggest crowd we've seen so far at a Port City FC home match this season. I'd say about 150 is a fair assessment, but 5,000 and any time you're in the thousands is incredible for an NPSL match. And then Max Ferrari says, would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet? Well, I'll get back to that when we get a break in the action. I got to think about that as well. Garvila lost possession there, trying to counter as Wanche now connects over to Correa. Correa back to O'Malley. Excuse me, not O'Malley. O'Mahony. A giveaway now, though. O'Mahony chasing down Minisi. Minisi in a scramble. No foul, no whistle, as it's O'Mahony still with the ball. One back, though, by Steele. And to answer your question, Max Ferrari is, I'd say hands for feet, then you can have the opposable thumbs. That's always something that is unique to humans, obviously. So, Josh Bass Knight says, South American clubs are playing well in the Club World Cup. They are. That's one headed back to Mumford by Hickory FC. Galizzi was a player there for Hickory that knocked the ball to Mumford. They are, and the Argentinian clubs are doing well as well. Obviously, we mentioned, or they're not doing well, excuse me, Boca Juniors. We had this story about them in Auckland. But a lot of Brazilian clubs doing well. They all four made the round of 16, and one automatically making the quarterfinal as Palmeiras and Bottega. I think I mispronounced that, but they had that match earlier today. Palmeiras coming out on top, 1-0. And obviously, I mentioned there was a two-team max, but obviously, if a team from the same country wins the Champions League in that region, then they get more teams into the tournament than the two. So, Random Ozzy says he supports Leeds United, so he's just watching the Club World Cup for fun, which is always good. Jay Steele says hands for feet, so I can hide them. Hands for feet. Oh yeah, hands for feet, so I can hide them with socks. Yep, that's kind of what I was thinking. And Hickory FC fan says, doesn't Hickory FC play next week versus Bristol? Well, I can check on the schedule for you and get back to you, Hickory FC fan. Reston Wu says 150. Ouch. Yeah, ouch is the right word, but it's a tough place. You know, Wilmington, a lot of stuff going on. There's a, I would say, college summer league baseball team stadium to our left. We'll see if we can get a shot of that. There it is. Team's warming up. That game's at 7. They draw a couple of thousands each night, 2,000, 3,000, as you see them. That game is at 7 p.m. tonight, so that draws a lot in the Wilmington community. But, as you say, nothing like what you guys have at Hickory FC. And it is a water break for Port City FC. And for Hickory FC, they play on the road, yes, at Bristol Rhythm next Saturday at 7 p.m. For Port City FC, they play on the road at Greenville United. That's 7 p.m. on a Saturday as well. That's the last game of the regular season. All 5 kickoffs at 7 p.m. The big scandal in the World Cup in the 70s, the reasoning for that, as teams manipulated the results so a team could get in over another team. And FIFA was the first one to really put the match days at the same time for the finales of either the group stage or like a regular season like this. Port City FC get us started after the water break. A good 2-minute, I'd say, between 2 and 3 minute hydration break. We're in the 28th minute of the first half, and it's 2-0 for Hickory, but their goals coming all the way back in the 4th and 10th minute. Jack Etherington, I might have messed that up, but said, Hull City fan, we hate Leeds. So a little rivalry in the comments now. And thank you, Jonathan Rink. We appreciate that, or I appreciate the comment, making the broadcast interesting. That's my main job, and especially want to make the beautiful game beautiful and keep the fans interested as well. And Tank Lima says Hickory FC in the thousands is normal last year too. And I think when you build that fan base, it's established, you know, that establishment, you know, you built the tradition and the culture, and that's what Hickory FC has done. You look at all the D1 players as well, that results in winning, and they've got bigger aspirations than just the conference. As here's Rivera now in for Port City FC on this near side. He'll try a cross. Well, he pulled back on it there, and it goes back all the way to Walker. Walker now chooses to go inside to Payne. Payne driving in, looks down, dinks it over to Walker, inside to Garvila. Garvila still with the ball, shot blocked. He was offsides, was Garvila though. Good chance though for Port City FC. First chance we've seen since that Hamid chip attempt. We caught the latter end of that chance from Garvila. Not sure if he was offsides. So Hickory FC, they've done well early on in this game and throughout the season as well. Looking back at some of their play styles, they like to slow the possession down, and they can flip a switch so quickly though whenever they want to go into attack, and that's how they've scored both their goals. Kenneth Toon TV says he's watching from Nigeria. Well, we appreciate your views, and we've seen you comment a couple times, and we appreciate the comments. Elder Gutierrez looks like he's having a pint right now, so enjoy that if you are. It's a foul and a free kick for Port City FC. Half an hour gone. And there's just spurts of moments in this game where action flows, and then we have moments like this. This is really the first time we've seen Port City FC, though, really control the ball. And then they have a through ball like this. Keegan Pete on the end of it, but a big touch goes right to Naylor as he comes over to play defense on Pete. He'll clear it out of bounds. You see that tarping on top of that cabana back there. Last week, if anybody was watching, there was no tarping on top. So a little bit of improvement for Legion Stadium here in Wilmington with a new fresh tarping on top of that cabana, and very critical for anybody sitting over there. No one there today, but the shade massively important, especially with the sun and the UV so high. It's back to Pete, who'll look to cross it. He does now. It's defended easily by Hickory FC. Walker tried to flick it on to Steele, but Steele wins it off of Hickory and cleared by Correa. Fatzinger now. And Random Aussie says, there's a fun fact, there's a Port City FC 1 hour up the road from me. I'm not sure where Random Aussie is positioned, or where he or she calls home. But that's pretty cool. And here's a through ball. Minisi trying to get on it, but Payne overran it, and Hamid was late on the scene. So easily dealt with by Hickory FC. Resin Wu says there's a windshield gone. Yeah, a lot of cars parked behind that cabana. Any ball that's cleared out like that, danger. They're living on the edge parking over there, that's for sure. Drippy Pancake says we want Jorge Jimenez on the bench today for Hickory FC. And a lot of subs probably going to be made for Hickory FC if they can hold this advantage going into the second half, just to get some fresh legs on the pitch. So Random Aussie says he's 4 hours north of Sydney, Australia. So assuming that they were in Australia, as Random Aussie is the name, but we now know factually that Random Aussie is in Australia. And I was mentioning Hickory FC have higher aspirations than just the conference title, in which they'll have to play the semifinals. They'll also host the semifinals, and if they win those, they'll host the finale. And that is not only their main goal, as they won it last year, but they could compete nationally, could this team. So here's Walker now on the near side. Steele was making a run. He was squinting as well, looking directly into the sun behind us here where the camera is positioned. And Tank Lemus says, do you believe Hickory FC can ascend to the league above this one? Obviously this being the NPSL, which is semi or equal almost to the UPSL. I'm not sure which league they would go into higher than the NPSL, but I think they could with the success they've had. And there's a lot of good players in that area as well. A lot of D2 and a couple of D1 programs as well, just in the vicinity. But this Hickory FC team pulling from a lot of different schools. That's a throw and good shielding effort there from Souza. And there's players internationally. Look at Galizzi from Argentina. He plays at Memphis, the D1 school. You look at Souza, who we just saw play some defense and shield that ball out of bounds. He's from Brazil. He plays at Coker. And the list goes on and on. Juan Pablo Correa. He's from Miami, USA, but he plays at FIU. So a lot of international talent. So I think Hickory FC could have success. There's a foul on Rivera. Nice sportsmanship from Hickory FC there. Yellow card is given, though, to Galiza. Here's the replay of that foul. Galiza just gives him a little shove in the back. You can see the left arm extend and probably justifies the yellow card. And nice to see the sportsmanship no matter what, though. Jack Etherington, I might have said it right that time, says, up the Maroons, Aussie. I think that might be, I'm not sure who the Maroons are, but if you could clarify that, would help me a lot. Max Ferrari says, we want the Natty. Well, I think Hickory FC have a chance. They've done well already in the league so far. They've only got one loss on the season. It was a friendly on the season. Jack Etherington asks why Leeds? To the Random Aussie, I'm pretty sure. Drippy Pancake, Hickory FC fan, obviously, and says, let's win this and win this year. Hickory FC in firm control of this game, 2-0 in front of Port City FC in the 36th minute now. As now pace slows once more. O'Mahony just passing around to Munoz, now over to Naylor. So just keeping abreast on the comments, Random Aussie is answering the Leeds question. They were in OZ 3 years ago, and I was born in Leeds and moved to Australia 4 years ago. So good connection there for Random Aussie. As it's won back by Lieber. That was a critical challenge that he had as Hickory had numbers. Mumford now pressured heavily. He's got to get back in net quick. And a smart foul for Garvila, but advantage played. Mumford now back in his net. Cleared away by Lieber. And that back line of Port City FC, especially Fatzinger and Lieber, the center backs, a lot of work already today. Andrew Bonilia said, who scored the 2 goals? Well, I got that for you. In the 4th minute, it was Antonio Pineda. And in the 10th, it was Leo Souza. Early action here in Legion Stadium. Jonathan Rink asked to pan over behind the Port City goal for halftime. Those kids look to be having a pretty intense game going on. They are. There's a shot by Payne. He just created something from nothing there, did Payne. But once again, his shot is always rising, trying to get that one down, and he got closer than the previous. But still, just a bit over, not as much leaning back from Payne. And those kids behind the Port City FC goal, yeah, there are a lot of them over there, and they're having a great time. We'll see if we can show you that at halftime. There it is quickly, what we're mentioning. They're at a break right now. I think the ball went out of bounds, but we'll see for a halftime entertainment if we can go over there. And if the kids, they might come out on the main pitch, but we'll see. Nonetheless, for right now, here's in a sprinting attack from Sanchez. Headed by Lieber, though. The cross from Sanchez left something to be desired, I'm sure, for him. Oh, here's Payne in on goal now, but his touch with his right foot got stuck. He takes a shot, but it's right into the hands of McCloskey. So Payne there kind of clunked up that first touch. And I'm sure he'd like this one back. He'd love a touch. And he goes with the right foot there, and it just gets bobbled up under him. Drippy Pancake says this is a great matchup. And Reston Wu says, well, a little tap gets the blood pumping. So we're all excited. And it has been a great match. Hickory FC in control so far. Drippy Pancake asking if that was offside in the last attack by Payne. Not sure. It was close for sure. This is Manisi just chunking it right to Mumford. Who, whoa. A split second of fear there was Mumford. Here's Manisi. The ball's in the air. Mumford maybe missed it, not sure, but he catches it with the W posture there instead of the basket. And the PA announcer, Jeff, he loves the sound effects, and we love it here at Legion Stadium. We see you, Resin Wu, the mine. That's one of the favorite ones for Jeff, and a lot of fans here like that as well. So we do appreciate that. Shout out, got to shout out Jeff, our PA announcer, our public announcer here at Port City FC. Now, Hickory FC just possessing around in the back. Hickory FC on that far touchline near the End line cuts back in, headed away by Pete, but right back to where it came from. Minisi able to collect it on his chest. Pressure by Wanche, keeps it in the zone. Pete clears it long, so Port City FC withstand that attack from Hickory. The Chelsea-Benfica game still interrupted. It's a tough game as well whenever you're so far into a game like that in 85th minute, and then you have to restart. Benfica obviously trying to come up with plans to just all-out attack to get that goal to tie up the ball game. That's the Club World Cup going on in Charlotte. Here's Sanchez. Sanchez with two defenders on him. Help to his right. Sanchez dumps it off to Souza. Back to Sanchez. Sanchez driving it past the defender. And a touch, a critical touch by Rivera to eliminate the threat. Rivera and that whole back four for Port City FC, they've had a couple clutch challenges, but whenever they've gotten behind the ball, they've been beat twice already. So here's Sanchez. He got by Fatzinger, and Rivera was on his toes there. Josh Bass Knight says 1 goal before half would be huge for Port City FC. It would be. It would change the complexion of this game. We're 3 minutes from halftime. Whatever the stoppage time will be, I think it'll be probably about 3 minutes, so 6 minutes till half if you add those. So a goal from either side would really be big. A goal from Hickory right here would be almost a nail in the coffin for Port City FC. Hickory FC fans asking as Mumford has to clear. Not that far though, only to Sanchez, but it's back to Fatzinger. Now Payne on the counter potentially. But going back to that Hickory FC fan question, Appalachian versus Bristol starts in a few. Who do you think will win? I'm not sure. Hickory FC is good at home. Or not Hickory FC, excuse me. Appalachian FC is good at home. But that game, if I'm not mistaken, is in Appalachian, so they're really good at home. I think they'll have the upper hand in that game. For Port City FC's sake, they want Bristol to win, especially with the results going the way they are here. And going to Appalachian for Port City in the semis would be tough. They lost there in the opening game 4-1, did Port City FC. So a tough rematch that would be for Port City FC. Here's a foul on Minisi in a dangerous position. Pineda was saying it maybe should have been a yellow card on Minisi, as you saw there. What do you think about the Appalachian versus Bristol game? Anybody in the comments, Hickory FC fan, if you'd like to answer, who do you think is going to win that? And a quick attempt there, as you just saw on the replay. And it looked like it was from Wanche. That quick attempt. It did go on the net, but the referee had already said 10 yards. Josh Bass Knight keeping us updated on the Club World Cup in that Chelsea-Benfica game. It was 1-0 in favor of Chelsea. 10 minutes and give everything in the Club World Cup. It's tough for a squad. Here's the free kick now. Over it is Wanche. He's on the near side. On the far side is Wester. Which one will line up? The left-footed player of Wanche. Wester hits the wall and out for a corner. So Port City FC now has to defend a corner with 25 seconds left in the 45. It looks like the refereeing pointing for 2 extra minutes. And we have a lot of agreement that App is going to win that game in the comments. 3 minutes it is, official confirmation. Not 2, excuse me. And that was O'Mahony over it, not Weston. And it's headed, no one back post over Hickory FC. They tried to flick it on. It's staying in bounds. It's still in play. Hickory FC chased it down. Huge effort play. And that just shows you Port City FC right now not with the effort that is needed to get back in this game. Hickory FC just trying harder right now, but here they are on the counter. Big touch from Rivera. Ends that counterattack in a hurry. Great hustle there from Hickory FC. I think that might have been Correa that was trying to chase it down. Josh Bassnight is going to watch double screen for us, the Appalachian and this game. So I think that's at least what he's saying. Or the Club World Cup, excuse me. That's what you have been commenting on. So keep us updated on that if that is what you're talking about. And we'll look forward to your comments. Here's a long-range effort from Correa. Or excuse me, that is Pinea. That one trailed or sailed high and never had a chance. That was Sanchez, excuse me. I was looking at the wrong name on my notebook there. Nonetheless, we're back in play. Manisi heads it back to where it came from. Payne gets fouled, yes he does, by Naylor. Max Ferrari says Hickory was minus 350 to win this game. I would agree. That's a good line. I'm not sure if there's actually lines on the NPSL in terms of betting. Betting now legal in North Carolina. Started, I think, over a year ago now. So a big deal there, and they've, I think, made a lot of money off of that. I'm not sure. Don't know any numbers on that. But from what I've heard, that goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Reminder, the pole, the corner flag is in place still. So. Yeah, DraftKings, we're here for you. If anybody's listening for DraftKings, we'll promote your material. Anybody. Any of the big promoters. I'm trying to think of all the big sports books. FanDuel, you've got the one in Las Vegas I know is a big one as well. Yeah, 360 bet, that's the one I was thinking about. So less than 1 minute to go now. We're closing in on halftime. Hickory FC, though, have some numbers, and they're on the breakaway. Oh, not a breakaway. Well, here is the breakaway, though. Hickory trying to triple. Oh, they can't get it. Mumford closing down nicely. Lieber holding his left ankle, and there's the halftime whistle. Lieber is down. Mumford is down as well. Bad sign for Port City FC to end this half, but they do withstand that chance, and it's 2-0 heading to the break. So it looks like Mumford just got clipped as the Hickory player jumped over, and then it was a weird landing for Lieber. So we'll check on them, and we'll let you know how they are starting this second half. As for right now, we'll be back in 7 minutes. Max Ferrari answers the question. Bet365 is the only one that has NPSL. So NPSL does have a sports book. That's pretty cool to know. And it's apparently the first game that Max Ferrari has seen for NPSL matches. Well, that's it for the first half, 2-0. We'll come back and highlight the first half here in Legion Stadium in Wilmington, North Carolina. Stay with us here as we take a quick break. Welcome back to Legion Stadium here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hope your food break was successful, your bathroom break. We're taking a look at the highlights in the first half. This was an early chance. That was a foul that led to that early chance, I might say. So here's that chance I was just talking about. So here's the free kick from Steele, right on the 6-yard box. And it's flicked on right off the underside of the bar. And then there was a mad scramble after that for Port City FC. That was right after mentioning this. It would have been a big start if Port City FC got the first goal, but things change so quickly, do they, in the game of football. And here was Port City again. That was right after. That was the ensuing play, just a mad scramble for Port City FC, eventually cleared by Hickory. So that was the mad press on that one attempt. Here, not but a couple minutes later, is the goal scorer of the first goal. Pineda, beautifully tucked into the bottom right corner. And then not but long after that, it was another goal for Hickory FC. Port City FC unable to clear it was Jack Steele, and Mumford Guest trying to make a splendid save, but instead it's in the back of his net, and we sit at 2-0 in favor of Hickory FC. Here's that last chance. A lot of comments about it we'll come to. And Mumford, it does look like, as Resin Wu says, Mumford took out his own player. So we'll take a look as they come out of the locker room to see how they're both feeling, same thing. No other keeper warming up, so I think Mumford is fine, and we'll see Mumford once again. Hickory FC fan says he has a scoreboard up on his phone, so I'm commentating right now in Spanish and French. How about that? Yeah, Gavin says, whoa, hold up. That is French. That's a new level unlocked right there. And hopefully you got your enjoyment out of the kids out on the field. They're having some fun right now. A lot of them here tonight. A lot of family affair for Port City FC tonight. So love to see that. So what to expect for the second half? Let us know in the comments what your expectation is as well. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you back on the channel once more. That would be amazing, and we do appreciate your views. I have to say that as well. But also, let us know what you think the second half is going to have in store. I think it's going to be a lot of the same as in the first half. Port City FC started early and quickly. It looks like we may see a substitution for Port City FC. Caleb Woodard, who started in the last game. We saw him make his first appearance on the season in the last home game for Port City FC against Greenville. He's warming up now with his full kit on. So we might see him. The center backs for Port City FC, Lieber and Fatzinger, they have been just working their butts off, I think is the right way to put that. They've just been working hard. So Wayne 10 in the chat. Max Ferrari asking who let Wayne in here. Another friendly battle in the comments. Love to see all the interaction. Mumford's back out. It looks like he's good. So Lieber may be coming out for Woodard. So that may be that substitution. The Gold Cup quarterfinal underway. Panama, Honduras. Reminder, the Mexico game tonight against Saudi Arabia. Big match as well. Saudi Arabia shocked the world in 2022 against Argentina in the 2022 World Cup. So Saudi Arabia do have a couple big wins on their resume. They lost, though, 1-0 to U.S. in the group stage. So we'll see. Tomorrow as well, the U.S.-Costa Rica. Big game. Costa Rica is a good team. And the U.S. have struggled against good teams in the CONCACAF region. Not named Mexico. They've struggled against Mexico, but that's a given as well, you know. And as we're on the topic of Gold Cup and Club World Cup. Some players decided to stay at the Gold Cup. Some people decided to stay at the Club World Cup. What are your thoughts about that and the players' choices? Obviously, you see some players opting out as well. Pulisic, who AC Milan was not in the Club World Cup but decided not to participate. And then you see McKennie, who was playing for Juventus and opted out of the U.S. And I think Gavin, as we see, was saying we'll hold up to negativity towards Hickory FC. So Hickory FC fan, we see the lineups. I'll get you those as soon as we can. Hickory FC is already out there. I'll get you the best I can to see if we got any substitutions. For Port City FC, though, we do see a keeper change. So those two players involved in that incident, they've come off. And Kevin Christensen, who's back, he was not on the roster for the last game at home. We saw him start 2 home games ago, and then last home game he was not on the roster. So Christensen comes in now for Port City FC. And we'll be right back after this sponsors break to tell you the rest of the lineup here on YouTube. So thank you to those sponsors sponsoring Port City FC. So it's Caleb Woodard. He takes off. It looks like, or maybe Caleb Woodard's not coming on. Not sure. He's walking over to the bench. So maybe gave you false hope in Woodard there. But we do have Christensen, who's in goal for Mumford. So Mumford's day is done. That looks like the only substitution for Port City FC. For Hickory FC, I'll see if I can sort some numbers out. Maxine Wester still in for Hickory FC. So is number 18, Luciano Galizzo. So is number 15, Pineda. We saw him score the opening goal of the game. Sanchez, the striker, also still on the field. In goal is still McClowski. Mahoney still on the field. So is the captain, Wanche. Correa is on the field as well. So it looks like Souza, Munoz, and Naylor all on the field for Hickory FC.
I just found a phone in the restroom.
Other than that, that's it. I think we haven't seen a single substitution for Hickory. For Port City, there's a new player. It's Caleb Powell, playing right wing for Port City FC, along with that Christensen sub. So 2 subs for Port City FC. And we're back underway, so everyone buckle in for this second half as we're underway, and it's going to be a ride. Drippy Pancake says Port City FC got beat 6-1 last time against Hickory FC. Well, they'll look to try and make that a better result and also keep their 8-game goal-scoring streak alive. They've scored in every game this season so far. Now here's Christensen's first action with his left foot clearing it off the line, having to come out and make his presence known early. And stoppage for a second. Another flat ball. Wow. How about that? That's the 3rd in this game, 4th in the last 2 games for Hickory FC. And any ball sponsors, if you're watching, we would love to have a test run of any new type of ball, because obviously this ball is not holding air. Or I don't know, because obviously they checked him whenever that big huddle happened. Interesting. Hickory FC players might also like the ball a different firmness as well compared to other teams. So that could be the case for this situation. Pete goes up in the air with Galizzi, and it is off of Pete last. Good job there from Pineda, excuse me, to stay on his feet after getting knocked in the back a little bit. Here is Naylor. Over to Munoz. Munoz back to Naylor. And the game to our left, the baseball game I was mentioning, is underway now. The opposition for the Wilmington Sharks, they're wearing all yellow like the Savannah Bananas. They're not playing the Bananas, but that's just the first thought that I had. Back on the soccer pitch. Oh, Minisi almost just gave a cheap giveaway. But Lieber was aware. Minisi sliding in, good challenge, or clean at least. And there's a big challenge. Powell rolling around, heavy challenge. Couple players going around. Pete defending his player there. Powell just coming in the second half. It was O'Mahony from Spain. Take a look at it here. It's a hefty challenge. A couple dips and knocks there, and the leg does look like it comes up a little bit. So a decision for the referee here, maybe to give out a card. I think that it would be worthy of a card, as his leg did come up with the studs out. Nonetheless, that was after a string of potential fouls as well, so that's why both teams weren't happy. Kaiser says conference champions, obviously referring to Hickory FC. They've won the regular season. Powell is up now. Good to see him get up on his own power. Drippy Pancake says the fight is going crazy. It was a crazy fight. It was short-lived as well. It was diffused quickly. MLS also back today. If anybody watches MLS, not many people probably watch MLS, but U.S. Soccer back. I don't think every team was back in action. Obviously, Inter Miami not back in action. They're in the round of 16. So, not everyone playing for MLS, but it is what it is. And here is Powell back to his feet, and it looks like it'll be I don't know what the ref's got going on here. Maybe a drop ball. It's got to be a free kick for at least Port City FC, right? Or no, it's a flat ball. Wow. So, I'm not even sure what to say at this point. I guess we count that as the fourth time this has happened. And jeopardy. We're taking our time for sure. And it will be a free kick for Port City FC. Lieber gets us restarted. We're back underway. Not a very flowy second half so far. It's been very chopped up so far. Hamid puts his body there into Munoz, but Munoz was able to win it back in Correa. St. Clemus says championship win for FC is all over ESPN. I can't wait to see a documentary on that. Rivera's fouled there by Sanchez, and it's a free kick once more for Port City FC. They've had some free kicks. There's that free kick taken somewhat quickly by Port City FC.
They're working too, so on that side. Yeah, you can go in.
And a water break definitely in the cards for the second half. Drippy Pancake mentioning that, but definitely a thing that we'll see here probably about halfway through, near the 65th minute of play, most likely. Lieber fouled there. That was a strange challenge, but Lieber's all good, and it'll be, I think that's a typical free kick that you'll see. Given now Minisi dumps it into Correa. Maybe Minisi was trying to get Correa on a yellow, but no card is given there. The ref has not really reached to his pocket today. I don't think that it's his friend. I don't think that he is a big fan of the pocket. He likes to keep it nice and tight to his heart. So he's only thrown 1 yellow so far today. So back to Christensen. It's dumped long. Correa wins the header. O'Mahony back to Naylor. Over to Wanche. And once again, possession from Hickory. Munoz to Naylor. So here's a good through ball into Sanchez. He's gotten behind Port City FC defensive line once more. This is where Port City FC have conceded their 2 goals so far. Missed touch though by Pineda. And Powell just tries to clear it. He'll find Payne somehow and gets it over to Rivera. And a good comment from Drippy Pancake saying the ref doesn't want to run. Yeah, he's kind of staying in that center circle. I said the ref's in the black, all black today, is a tough choice with the heat. And he doesn't want to call offsides or cards. We haven't seen many of those today, so as you say. And Gavin talking about MSL. Not sure on my lingo about that, so if you could inform us, but all encompassing there. And Drippy Pancake says penalty, or am I blind? I'm not sure what the reference is there, but so it's Steele and Port City FC over to Rivera on a run now. Rivera gets it over, driving in with steam right into the hands of McCluskey. Good run there from Port City FC, and
somebody turned it in, though.
I was in Payne over on that far side. Sorry, I left you hanging there. But Payne, who had a chance, he missed half of the series. He's missed half the season. He played in the last 2 games, but a middle portion of the season he missed, and he's still up high on the goal scoring charts for Port City FC. There's a cross in. It's over to Pineda. Pineda looking, maybe he doesn't go to Wester. Pineda goes inside now. O'Mahony. Now it's to Wester. Tries to find the top corner, but does not, as it finds the outside of the right post. And that was whisker thin margins for Wester to get an absolute screamer. Left Christensen planted. I took a little jump to Christensen, but he was never going to get there. Drippy Pancake also says we're almost 1,000 subscribers for TSC TV and Port City FC YouTube. Well, we'd love if you could help us reach that number, and also we appreciate you viewing today. If you do like what you hear, like the stream, however you're watching, and also subscribe, as I just said. And Miklowski, the keeper for Hickory FC, is replacing Jasper. As I mentioned, first game for McCluskey from LMU is McCluskey. And Jasper over in Germany, the 4th tier of Germany at Esel. As I said in the beginning of the game, a big loss, but they've got a good replacement in McCluskey, as you say. And thank you, Drippy Pancake, for liking and subscribing, as well as everyone else that has done it. Sanchez loses it off of Rivera now. Rivera started a couple counterattacks for Port City FC here. Here's Payne. He flips it over to Walker. Walker's got power to his right. He decides to take it himself. Back to Payne. Now over to Pete, who's got room. Takes a shot. Greatly blocked by Correa. Maybe hit a hand there, but no call. Here's Steele right into the hands of Miklowski, never challenging the netminder of Hickory FC. There's that challenge. Great stretch from Correa. And that's the beauty of the Hickory defense we've seen today. They have given up opportunities, but they've always been outside the box, and Hickory has kept them outside the box. They just seem to have a stone wall defense in the perimeter of the 18, or inside, you might say, which has been the big difference of this game so far. Here is Wester having that chance just go off the woodwork. Now he drives towards the end line, chips it in over Christensen's head for a goal kick. Maybe looking for a Bangu there or a cross back to the penalty spot, but he decided to take it himself. Just missed it high. And it looks like Lieber is cramping. He's done a lot of running today, as I mentioned. Two center backs of Lieber and Fatzinger.
Luis would like to wish his girlfriend Jacqueline a very happy birthday. So on behalf of all of us here at the Fort City Football Club, Jacqueline. So
we may be seeing Caleb Woodard soon, as I mentioned, the center back. We'll see, though. There's another player warming up on the sideline. Or that's Garvila, who's come off for Powell. He's still just stretching it out over on that far side by the bench. The benches, they have the tents bent down in the front because the sun's right in their eyes, so they can see with the shade. So that's back to Christensen. And Christensen plays it to Steele. Now it's with Powell. And it's out for a throw-in for Hickory FC. And we see you, Resin Wu. Happy birthday to Jack in the stands. Yeah, just wished someone a happy birthday. So if I see that person, I'll let them know as well that all the people are saying happy birthday. And that's sun angle right now. This is the worst time of day in terms of sun angle. As you say, Drippy Pancake, very direct and low to the horizon. Here's Steele trying to a heel pass to Minisi. Unable to connect, and now Fatzinger just has to, well, he kept it in bounds. Brilliant from Fatzinger, but he cannot connect with Powell. And Lieber is going to just connect with Christensen back to his keeper. So Fatzinger over to Lieber. And Port City FC, well, they're down 2-0. Don't forget that, you know, and we're closing in on the hour mark. Port City FC, they're just possessing right now, but they're going to need to find an answer eventually to the puzzle that is being placed in front of them. Here's Payne. Great save by McCloskey. And he's showing his skill with the top right hand there. He made the save. I think he may have been able to go with his left hand there. But that was a good save. No, I was mistaken. A great save there from McCloskey. And able to push that one wide. Payne almost answering and putting the pieces together.
For Hickory, number 11, John Asador.
So number 11 for Hickory FC comes in, coming off is number 18, Luciano Galizzi. It is John Osadolo. I may have just butchered that name. I'm pretty sure I did, but he's in on the match. Corner came in for Port City FC, nothing going there. Now it's back in with Payne. Steele runs onto it. It's taking a shot, deflected. Steele's always going to take that shot. He's very confident in his ability to strike the ball. And just not enough precision on that there. And Kaiser says Port City playing like they're winning, and they definitely are. It's been interesting this second half. Port City FC have possessed, but Not really much going forward here, though. Going forward-wise, Pineda was trying to get on the end of that one before it rolled to Christensen, shielded by Pete. And Kaiser, excuse me, we appreciate your comment on the fast replays. We pride ourselves on having the replays and able to see the action back, so you just don't have to rely on the first time of seeing. That one's headed straight up in the air by Naylor. Back over to Wanche. Now it's Miss Correa. Correa looking at the substitute. And also, don't forget, Hickory FC playing 8 games. They've only given up 6 goals. That doesn't happen by luck. That is skill. And steal in the back of Wester there. So a free kick for Hickory FC, and Powell helps him up to his feet, does Wester, and now Wester walking away, and always good to see some sportsmanship like that. Also, I'm not sure if the Chelsea and Benfica game is back underway. I think it's still in delay. If we have an update there, that'd be great, as we're here in Wilmington watching this game. I did see a drum come in for Hickory FC and their fans. I haven't heard it yet. I just heard a little bit of a couple notes on it. We'll see if they get that going. That would really be a nice increase to the atmosphere for Hickory. See, they're already up 2-0 though. Port City FC now trying to find an answer though. There's Hamid. He took a big touch with his right foot though. And now here on the breakaway is Wester. Trying to get onto it. It's defended well, though, by Minisi. Lieber, nifty little footwork. And now Port City, it's opened up a little bit, has this game. The teams have spread out, and if you can get it spread out like this, it's hard to get back into shape because it's so hot and these players are so tired. There's Payne, long-range effort, and he finds the top left corner where the spider webs are. And what an opening goal for Port City FC. They've cracked the code of that defense. They didn't get it inside the box. They didn't need to. What an absolute strike from Aiden Payne. An absolute cracker of a shot. And that is picture-perfect, whisker-thin margins. And it heads right into the water break. What a moment for Port City FC. And I'm sorry to the fans at home because I don't think my commentary did that moment a justice. We'll get another look at it here. Aiden Payne from 30 yards out with a right foot. Top corner past the outstretched arm of Miklowski, who was going for it. That was a great diving effort from Miklowski, but there is nothing he could do about that one. And to answer your question, Drippy Pancake, yes, the drummers are with them. I saw one guy walk in, as I said. And we'll take a look at their supporters. They got their little tifos up. As you see, there's a portion of the fan base. They're kind of spread out all on that first level there. And Kaiser says FIFA did a terrible job promoting games, empty stadiums. Yes, that has been a big talking point for the Club World Cup, and there's been a lot of other reasons as well. I'm not going to go into all that, but we'll see. I think the World Cup will be a big event, and there's a picture of the stands, all 150. Not a bad crowd for Port City FC, the biggest crowd for a home game this season for the men's. And this just got a whole new life into it, and did someone say that they wanted some chili peppers because it just got a whole bunch more spiced up? And the response, what will the response be for Hickory FC? As you say in the comments, Kaiser. Props for Port City. I think everyone in the comments and everyone watching knows that that was a great goal. I mean, that was One of the best goals, I think. That might be the goal of the season for Port City FC. But 3 goals for Hickory FC is Kaiser. We'll see what happens. What will the Hickory response be? That's only the 7th goal conceded on the season. Port City FC now have life in this game.
On the pitch now for Hickory, number 8. Rodolfo Pino.
Substitution for Hickory FC as well. I'll get you that in a second. And out of nothing was that goal for Port City. No foul called there. Maybe thought it would be for Wester. But Steele retains possession. And Hickory FC, they've had 2 games where it's only been a 1-score game, and they've been both to Appalachian FC where it was 1-0 in both of those results. Oh, it's flipped on now. Great chance here for Hickory, and they found the response that they were looking for. It didn't stay a 1-score game for long. Beautiful combination. Lieber just was able to get his foot there, and they knocked it right to the attacking player. There's that replay. Lieber knocked it on. Beautiful touch around the defending leg of Fatzinger. And there's your goal scorer on that far side there. Lieber stayed down. And it is once again Antonio Pineda.
That score was by number 15, Antonio Pineda.
So he gets his 2nd goal of the night, a brace in the 68th minute. Does Pineda. Right after Port City FC find their 1st goal of the game. And just like Kaiser said, that Hickory FC are going to have a response right over the hand of Christensen. Christensen maybe could have drove more to that shot. Lieber is coming off, it looks like, as he wobbles behind his own net. And it will look like be number 13, which is Volbrich, Taylor Volbrich. So is that the goal that really puts this game to bed? If it was not but 3 minutes ago, before Aiden Payne scored that goal, I would say yes, but there's still life for Port City, but I think Hickory FC have really taken this game now by the scruff of the neck. It's some substitutions happening now. I mentioned Vorbrich is coming on.
And entering the match right now for Port City, number 13, Taylor Vorbrich.
So it's also number 44 for Hickory FC coming off. That is Maxine Wester coming on for Hickory FC. I mentioned number 8 came on, as well as the new player that just entered for Wester. It's number 10, which is Robert Deegan. As for number 8 is Adolfino Hara. So Hara will be in the game now, and also the substitute for Wester. So 65th minute goal for Payne. Answered quickly 3 minutes later by Pineda. Oh, Avial says Hickory's response was fast, and it was. And Kaiser says 2 more goals or they won't celebrate, so that is what they expect. We'll see what happens here as we're in the 71st minute now at Legion Stadium here in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's been a great afternoon. And don't forget, I mentioned there's either been 3 or 5 goals in Port City games, FC games this season. We're at 4 right now, so we may be in for another goal. So don't tune away just yet. Offsides was O'Mahony there. So a lot of games on weather delays. There's weather in the western part of the state. The Jägermeister Cup, USL Jägermeister Cup just started last year. An exciting tournament for the USL teams. Charlotte Independence is on weather delay as well, just as the Chelsea and Benfica game. So keep an eye on those games as well. That weather probably coming here late tonight. I did see that. There's Rivera finding Hamid. A big touch for Hamid to run on to. Minisi was not interested in chasing after that one. Here's Minisi, though, chasing after Dihan. There is Hara. Naylor over to Souza, now back inside to Hara. Hara still with the ball at his feet, just dents of the footwork there. Almost like the samba for Hara to keep possession. He lost it off the pass. And a foul on Walker for Port City, and the substitute, Osa Doloro, is down on the ground. A little interaction there after the foul as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have the last call for alcohol at the 75th minute, so if you want a beer, better get it before the 75th minute.
Osa Doloro still down. He gets up now and with a smile on his face. So looks like he'll be continuing in this game. That's good to see. The ref has been challenged today. Lots of challenging calls. Linesmen have made a lot of offsides calls, and we see the comments. And Reston Wu, we see the Jägermeister comment. That's a fun word to say. I really enjoy saying Jägermeister. I don't know about everybody else, but what a sponsor, though, for the USL Jägermeister Cup. That is just, I mean, I don't know how you get a sponsor like that, but what a sponsor. No goals in the Panama-Honduras game. That was a quick shot there. Christensen was well aware, and nothing came from it. And there's that baseball game I mentioned. Wilmington Sharks versus the Savannah Bananas jerseys. I'm not sure who they're actually playing. It's the Coastal Plains League here in Wilmington. Good, decent crowd, maybe a little lighter as it's so hot today. But back here at Legion Stadium, Pete almost mauled there by his head by Correa. And he gets a foul. Pete, we've seen him sub in a lot of games, but he got the start tonight, and it's been a tough night as Hickory's been so good this season. And not even that, just tonight as well. So here is Wanche. Wanche, long ball, great clearance right to his teammate. And there, it's not just a clearance, that's a counterattack. That was offsides, though. And that one was pretty clear in my eyes. And there he was offside. So we'll see, I think, 2 more changes for Hickory FC as well, next stoppage. And VAR, we don't have VAR. I wish you did, that'd be cool, but yeah, no VAR in the NPSL. That one's dribbled out of bounds by Dinghan. So we'll see those subs. And it's the end of the day for Antonio Penea. Penea is 2 goals on the day. And he takes his farewell.
Entering the match now for Hickory.
What a game it was for him.
And number 19, Tomas Palucci.
And it will also be the end of the day for the captain, Wanche. So entering the match It will be, I'll get you in a second. Number 25, Harry Rowe, and now wearing the captain's band. It will be, struggle seeing the numbers sometimes with the dark numbers. And it's going to be, let's see, he hasn't turned around to us yet, so we'll get there eventually. But Rowe's got a throw in for Hickory FC.
Very happy birthday to our very own number 18, Max Menenke. He is 20 years old today, ladies and gentlemen.
Max Menenke's birthday, just heard on the speakers here at the stadium. Number 18 on Port City FC. We haven't seen him today. He's turning 20. That just shows you the youth in the league, a lot of room to grow for these players. So it's number 19. It is Lucas Polaci. I think I said that right. And he is on the field now, wearing the captain's armband for Hickory FC. Here is Munoz. There is Polaci, and he gets the foul. And we have Rip Pele, so have to investigate what that means from Tank Lemus. Also, let's get free three, says protect John at all costs. So protecting John, that's the MO there. And also number 66 on the field for Daniel Almeida for Hickory FC. And Max Ferrari knows Harry, so Harry Rowe on the field for Max Ferrari. A little connection there. And Tank Lemus says it's also a Hickory FC player birthday. If you'd let us know, we can try and get that onto the PA here and make them feel like they're well recognized. So, Tank Lemus, we're here for you. Leon says, let's go, Jack. And Zlatan, maybe Zlatan Ibrahimovic watching? I don't think so, but maybe. We can always hope, right? He says, one goal, please. Not sure for who, but, you know, he's rooting for a goal, so we're here for a goal as well. And also, Tank Lemus, let us know who that birthday is. We'll get it on the PA here. Almeida, once again on the field. Correa now for Hickory FC. It's 3-1 in favor of Hickory in the 79th minute. And Hickory, they've done well today. They've really almost stuffed Port City FC's chances when they've gotten inside the 18. It's only been a couple of chances and shots outside the 18 except for that early chance. 2 minutes into the game on the 6-yard box. Then Miklowski's decided to stay on his line off the underside of the bar for Port City. A mad scramble after that, but they got a goal about 30 yards away from Aiden Payne. But quick answer from Hickory FC to make it 3-1. Thank you, Tank Lemus, for that answer of Wanche birthday. So, number 42, the captain for Hickory FC. It's his birthday as well, so a shout out to him. I'll see if we can't get that over to the PA announcer here at Port City FC in Legion Stadium. There is Souza. Connects with Correa. I was looking for Polache. Didn't find. Thank you, Melissa O'Brien, as well. That's not 42. Oh, it's a different number. Okay. Thanks for that correction. So I'll see if I can find that for you. Okay, I see what you're saying. Ignacio Wanches. I think that's how you say. Okay, we don't know what his number is, but Ignacio Wanche's birthday for Hickory FC. Okay, so we'll see if we can get that. So no number, we don't have a number, but that's all right. We'll see what we can do. So we have, Resin Wu says we have Hickory FC on the Pixel phone, I'm assuming. That's a foul on Fat Singer there. as we take another look at it, just to pull down. And Banana Ball versus Firefighters on ESPN. That is not the game going off to our left, as I mentioned earlier. That is actual banana baseball. Savannah Bananas. Charlotte FC back started, or is going to start at 8:30. So that's good news there, and that's probably the same thing that is for the Club World Cup game. Here is a chance for Hickory FC right into the midst of Christensen. Shot by number 10, Dilhan. Oh, and Melissa O'Brien says he's not dressed today. Well, we'd like to give him a shout out anyway, so we do appreciate all the help there in the comments, us figuring that one out. Manisi with a little contact to Dighan there. Maybe a little drama class there from Dighan. But nothing called there from the referee. Here's Correa finding out why, trying to get over to Souza. Souza with the goal as well. He went around the corner flag. That's neat from Souza. And he gets his team a corner kick as well. And there's that nifty footwork. I don't think we got the clip of him going around the flag, but yeah, that was quite a neat. So Max Ferrari says the dad of Ignacio Wanche. Obviously, thanks for that clarification as well. Martin and Ignacio are brothers. The captain is number 42. Corner in now for Hickory, and it's in the near post. Just a awkward goal, but it counts the same for Osadolo. Osadolor with the goal. And there's the Hickory fans. Not much action going on over there, but it's 4-1. Now they're blowing the horn. Osadolor gets on the board. The substitute, there it is, just nips it on front post. And Port City FC, I think they put their head down now. That's a, I think, lack of defensive heads up there, and it's 4-1 Hickory now in cruise control. So their dad comes to the supporter tailgate, says Max Ferrari, and flew from Argentina to watch his boys. That's awesome. Marino, I think I said that right, is the dad's name. So, oh, Mariano, excuse me. So, Mariano, supporting the boys, congratulations, or thanks for being here as well. Pete, through ball, is unable to get a touch on it before it's won back by Hickory FC. So we'll see if we can't get a shout out to Ignacio Wanche, the brother of the captain Martin Wanche. Number 28, that also does help as well. So, big challenge there from Naylor, but a clean one, says the referee on Aiden Payne. And I said there would be another goal, and we did. That's the 5th goal of the game. And Kaiser says, this is soccer, not baseball. We need a celebration. Yeah, a little, not big celebration as they're already up 4-1. Big challenge in from Fatzinger. He took a big touch, and he got his team a throw in as well. Rivera now for Port City. So there is Alminda getting a free kick. A lot of free kicks today. We've seen a lot of fouls. At Port City FC, they've got a high mountain to climb, not only in this game, but in terms of the standings. Their last game coming at Greenville, they beat them 2-1 here a week ago. They were up 2-0 in that game before giving up a late goal. And not only that, it was a good game from Port City FC, but if Appalachian do win tonight, it's going to be tough because they're going to get a loss from Appalachian in the last match day to get that second position. So Port City FC may look like their bet is made in terms of what position they're going to be. They also need to be careful. Charlottetown Hops right behind them. They've played 9 games and 13 points, but you definitely don't want to have to travel to Hickory. That would definitely be the worst case scenario. Hickory, a very good team as we see tonight. Appalachian tough though as well. They lost at Appalachian 4-1, did Port City FC in the first game as I mentioned earlier. Hamid trips there, gets a free kick. And it don't count out Bristol Rhythm as well. Bristol Rhythm, if they could win tonight over Appalachian, they would be at 15 points on 8 games. They have an extra game midweek next week. So that would put them in contention. If they beat Appalachian FC, they could try to rise over them in the standings. We'll have to see how it all plays out, but a frantic last few weeks here in the NPSL standings. So closing in on the 90th minute. We're in the 88th right now. And AVL says, say it louder for the 28601. I think that's the area code for Hickory. And there's Manisi just showing his frustration. He boots it all the way down to the Hickory fans. It's been a frustrating game for Port City FC. It's just been, you know, Hickory's done a good job defensively, and that's what they've been doing well all season. That's why they've only given up 7 goals in their 9 games. I keep saying it. And Elder Gutierrez says long drive. Yeah, the question was, Kaiser, why are they so quiet? Yeah, long drive, and it's been a game where they've controlled most of it anyway, so the fans have just been there to support and not necessarily to make noise. Benfica, a penalty from Angel Di Maria, tie the game up. Chelsea, who have struggled so much in the Premier League, are now tied and looking to go to extra time. They finally got that game restarted. And Benfica, who beat Bayern. I know a lot of fans in the watching are Bayern fans. That was a tough game to watch. I watched that one. But Benfica, what a result that would be if they could end up pulling it out in extra time after that long delay. So here is Correa. Big collision. Pete and Correa. Collision out of bounds. More of just feet mashing together. Pete shaking hands with them. That's good sportsmanship. A lot of that today. And AVL says, too much time at the beach today. Yeah, if you're going to make this long trip, might as well go to the beach. The beach is very close to here, 15 minutes away, depending on which beach you go to, obviously. But we are blessed to have that here. And that is maybe the sun really takes a lot of energy out of you. So being at the beach and the UV so high, it could definitely strain your mental state. And now just relaxing in the shade are the Hickory FC fans. They've got the game done and dusted. We're 20 seconds from the regulation 90. I'm not sure how much stoppage time there will be. I would highly doubt not much as the game is out of hand. Manisi, big touch. Now he gives a little shove to Ding Han. Jack Steele pressuring. We haven't called Jack Steele's name much. We've seen him score 3 straight games, now back-to-back games. He's not going to score. It's been a tough stretch for him now. In this game, he didn't really have much going his way. Through ball and a great ball, but Christensen saw it all the way. Predictable there from Almeida. And Gavin says we're going to be loud in Bristol next week as Pete's fouled. Can't wait to get maybe a watch of that game. That'll be quite an environment. And a yellow card. First of the game for Hickory FC. Second overall, though. And he just rips him down. Does the last goal scorer of the game so far.
Entering the pitch for Port City Football Club, number 6, Max Kelly.
And Max Fry says, come to a home game. We're far from quiet. Well, I'll have to make my way up to Hickory, North Carolina into Lenore Ryan Stadium. I think it's called Monents, or Morats, I think, is what I heard last week, if I'm not mistaken. Have to make my way up there, either maybe not this year, maybe this year, or maybe next year as well. Yeah, TSC TV always available too, you know, for hire in terms of broadcasting. You know, I got to put that out there. So we're always open and we're always willing. We always love to have new people hear us. But once again, we've hit the 90th minute. I think we're already 2 minutes in the stoppage time out of 3. It's been a pretty slow end of this game. Steal on the back of Correa. Correa gets it over to Dinghan. Dinghan taking on Steele. And just a burst of speed from the substitute. Back post. Oh, and he just wasn't able to connect. What a great chance that was from Polachi. And Panama have scored as well against Honduras. They lead 1-0. Moretz, yep, that's the name of the stadium. Thank you, Rezenwu, excuse me, for that. And did we say the birthday yet? I don't think we have. I think we can mention at the end of the game here. And speaking of the end of it, there's the 3 blows of the whistle. Not the result Port City FC we're looking for, but Hickory FC. They stay perfect in NPSL play so far. 9 wins, 9 games played. It's 4-1. We'll highlight the game here in a second. But what a finish to the game for Hickory FC. They got the goals they deserve, or they got the goals that they wanted.
Tonight for this final regulation home game for the Port City Football Club Fighting Gulls.
And Gavin says, don't take my job from me, I just started. We'll try not to, Gavin. But I'm sure you're doing a great job out there. We'll try and catch a listen if the next home game. So 4-1 is the final score. And we'll take a look here at some of the highlights for Port City FC. It started early with a chance, but we won't take a look at that as we'll get right to the goals. This is not a minute and a half after Port City FC hit the underside of the bar. Antonio Pineda gets his first of the game early on in the 4th minute. Then, not but 6 minutes later, the Leo Souza find another goal to double the lead for Hickory FC. And here it is, a cross in, poorly defended by Steele, right to the legs of Souza, and finished quite nicely. Then that took us to halftime. 2-0 was the score. Hickory FC, well, they were dominating the game. Port City FC, though, with an absolute stunner from Aiden Payne. An absolute golazo. 30 yards out, top left corner from his angle. It doesn't get any better than that for Payne. That's going on his highlight reel for sure. That made it 2-1, and we thought maybe it would be a game. But Hickory, they put that to bed, and they doubled their lead once more. Not but a minute later, Lieber trying to play some defense. Fatzinger covering, touched over. And Pineda just sealed the deal for. And it was 3-1. After that, though, some cushion for Hickory FC. And it was the substitute, John Osadolor. He just flicks it on near post. 3 defenders from Port City there. They don't do anything, though. That'll be looked at for sure, defensively. But that's the goals that we saw today. A great game. Thanks for tuning in with us today on Port City FC YouTube and TSC TV YouTube. I've been Zachary Butcher along with you for the ride. It's the regular season finale for Port City FC men's. We might not see them back at home, so if you've been with us the whole season, we thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see you again next year. As for the women's side, Port City FC women's undefeated. They've only got one draw. We might see them again here at Legion Stadium. If so, tune in for us. Thank you for tuning in. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick with us here. As for all, we'll send you with the sponsors for Port City FC. That's all for us folks today. For next time, I'm Zachary Buttright. Farewell.